We have some Q&A to do. I hope you're doing fine, 'cause it's Q&A time again. Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. I must have scared him off with the bass in my voice. I bet he heard me, 'cause he was chilling there pretty much the whole time until I put a little boom in my voice. He said, "Skirt." So, hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. Welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A. Hanging out in front of the Lucipinnis tank. They were all out and about. I was trying my best to get a thumbnail of them. Wasn't easiest because they were kicking everything up there, but hello, 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 hello. Great to see y'all in the chat. Some red tiger Endlers. These things are really cool. Female's a little goofy. They're definitely inbred. That's why I've never offered them, but they are neat if it could focus. And of course, those guys are going to be shy now. So let's get to our seat here and get into this Q&A. So yes, another Friday. Woohoo! Always exciting for a Friday. I'm totally not set up, totally not prepared, but I am here for your guys' questions. And if I can't answer your guys' questions, we got an awesome community here to help answer questions. See Simply Betta's in the house. Hello, hello. Glad to see you in here. Glad to see you doing videos again. And all the awesome people saying hello. Mr. Placo, where the funk you at? It's awesome. Adil says, should I leave dead shrimp in the tank for other shrimp to eat or remove the dead shrimp? So, I mean, it would probably be best to remove them because you never know what they die from. And if they eat off of that dead shrimp, then maybe it could pass over. I don't know. But I often, myself, never ever take them out. I always just let them die in there. Because the colony kind of takes over itself. I don't know if they create like a herd immunity or what. But yeah, I never actually remove any of the dead shrimp myself. But in theory, you probably should. Chris Trapp says, how's the water change system? Looks like you were up late working. Yeah, I was up until 8:30 this morning. And I'm really excited to get back into doing it. I got like the hardest part done with, as far as like in the fish room, that I think is going to be the hardest reach for me to get that into. And I did manage to do that. So I feel like I'm going to be working downhill from now, which is great on that water change system. And of course, I'll be making a video of that for you guys when I get to it and get it done. I'll probably do a video on the last rack. That way, it'll be more flawless for when I actually do the video for you guys. But great to see you in here, Chris Trapp. And you must have seen the post or the stories that they have. I've been trying to do a few more of those posts and stories now, too, for you guys. It's just whenever I have to do that stuff, I've always got dehumidifiers I kick on here and there and everything else. So sometimes it's a pain to do those, but I am trying to get more of them for you. Jeremy Salazar says, how long does it take for Goiter River rainbows to fully color up LRB? So it could take up to a year, year and a half. It all depends on water changes. More water changes you do, and more frequently, the faster they will grow and color up. They definitely go by water volume, for sure. Faux show. Oh, I gotta get it in top chat, or live chat. Candy's not here to remind me, but I did remember this time. Proud of myself. Last Raven 215 says, have you ever started your own line of shrimp from Coles? I found some cool black shrimp and wanted to start something, but it might be easier just by a straight line. Well, I mean, that all depends on if you can get it as a straight line. Some of that stuff that you can get from Coles, you can't get out of a straight line. But I haven't personally, I've tried a little bit, not a whole lot. But, I mean, it can be done. It's just going to take a lot of time. And it depends, too, because I've noticed, and it's probably like guppies and endlers, sometimes it hits, and your rates of getting what you want is a lot higher than some others. So the numbers can always vary between the mixes and splits. But I have created lots of different new shrimp, like blues and greens together, green realies. I've got tons of yellow realies now. I'm almost to the point where I could start offering yellow realies here soon. And there's all kinds of. I've had a red, white, and blue shrimp at one point. I had a black, red, and blue shrimp at one point. I don't know if I mentioned purple realies. I had orange and blue shrimp, like dark blue with like orange rusty backs and stuff. Oh, they were awesome. I wish I would have held on to them and had more time to really mess with them. But I didn't have the tank space at the time, and I didn't have the systems to deal with it. If I had better systems, I could do a lot more. But you know, I've already got hundreds of tanks that I've got to deal with by myself, so only so much time in a day, and not always the easiest to keep up with everything, especially like Endler strands. I know we're talking shrimp, but man, we're talking about things I could line out. My goodness. Which I plan on making a video for you guys here soon of some of the craziest like Endlers and guppies I have in here that have been mixed and bred out. Like some of them are just absolutely phenomenal that I've never seen anywhere else. Danikin Aquatics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat and for the zebra acaras I got today from Danikin Aquatics. Thank you so much for sending those to me, bro. I appreciate it. Says, man, bro, those rainbows are popping tonight. Man, yeah, these things are always popping. It's just I actually scraped the glass the other week, so that really helps. But yeah, these things are, man, I love them. Especially the new lights that I've got on it with the compact fluorescence. Which actually only 3 of them are on like right now. Usually there's 6. Probably good for the camera though. But yeah, I absolutely love this tank. When they're in spawn mode and changing colors, especially these Upper Tor River rainbows right here, they're some of my absolute favorites. Gary Howes, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Saw you put an order in too. Thank you so much for that and your awesome support. Appreciate you, Gary. Thank you. Says, how's it going? It is going, bro. I'm happy it's the weekend. We had a big week of shipments, which I was excited for. It's been very helpful for us because just trying to catch up on things like the robot legs that we put on the house. Even though that was kind of a mess, and I don't know, I could talk about that on something else, but I'm not too happy with that work done. I think they kind of messed up the foundation because they didn't backfill it properly, and now I've got cracking all over my bricks. So another thing I got to deal with on top of this pond that they half done and everything else. But that's that. So it's helpful. So thank you so much, all of you guys, for the supports and the orders this week. Absolutely amazing. I could never thank you guys enough. Seriously. Lets me do what I love, and I am so glad I get to share it with you all and be here for you all. Science Gals Fishing says, have you ever heard of female Endlers maintaining color? I've got some female Endlers that have a white stripe on their caudal fins. Just wondering if these are truly females. Yes, they actually can. I have a ton of females that have lots of different colors and all kinds of different color variations. Like my black Moscow females, I've got a lot of them lined out to where all the females are all black as well. I've got some Geisen fin guppies as well, where the females will have the long fins as well as being colored. But yes, females can definitely have colors. My Fire and Red, the Fire and Red guppies that I offer, those females, those things are phenomenal. They kind of look like koi. You can almost mistake them for a Madeca. And Chris Pinto, thank you so much, Bro Tato, for the $10 super chat. Says, yo, my bro Tato, Fish Jesus, hashtag Fish Jesus. What's up, my bro? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun, living your best life. And thank you for the awesome support that you've shown me for so long. Eric Pellegrino says, how do you plant pothos in the top of the tank? Just wash the dirt off and drop the roots in the water? Do they need extra light? Not really. You can just drop them in with the roots in the water. You just kind of like hold them on something. I don't know what your setup's like. Some people like to put them in the filter if they got a hang on the back filter or something. Some people plant them in there. Some will just hang them over the corners, so where they just, like, say you have your pothos, you just kind of drape it over here, but have like a good amount in the corner or in the back corner or something. And yeah, it'll just feed out of that. They really do not require much. Pothos is an amazing plant. I really liked when I went to St. John Islands and we went to that creek. I was doing those wild aquariums, and that creek was nothing but pothos everywhere, all over in the wild. It was so cool looking. That's awesome, Smiley Aquatics. That's exciting with your red galaxy boas. Those are nice. And Danikin's again. Danikin Aquatics. Thank you again for the $5 super chat. Says you're welcome for the Cara, but you are making Danny's day with all the cool plans for the 300 Ultim Angel tank, man. Well, I can't wait to see that tank set up, and I'm glad I was able to give you guys some plants, and thank you guys for ordering the plants. I really appreciate your guys' support as well. It's been phenomenal. And yeah, I can't wait to see that tank. That's going to be amazing, especially with the Ultims. If you guys haven't seen Danikin Aquatics, he's got a crazy amount of tanks too, and he's got big tanks. Some really cool rare fish as well. Richard Schneeberg says, have you bred Corys? I have bred Corys. Quite a few different types. I've bred them community-wise and in, like, I've bred them in tanks like this where they'll just leave eggs off the glass. I'll pick them up like that. I've kept them in their separate tanks where you got, like, guppy grass, or you could do rock piles. So if you want to do it the lazy way where the eggs can get down, and that kind of depends on the type of Cory too, because not all will scatter down and into the rocks. But sometimes if they don't eat their babies, if they do stick them to the glass, they can still go live in the rock pile. That's the whole point of the rock pile, is so the babies can have somewhere to escape the adults and then go eat all the microorganisms within said rock pile. But cold water triggers, you usually do it for most Cory cats. And more neutral water. Mike Kenza, do you leave the lights on 24/7 when you're raising egg scatter fry? No, I don't. It's actually better to have less light. You're better off having less light than a lot of light, in my opinion. Even with my Endlers, I've noticed, like, if I were to keep my Endlers in a tank with no light whatsoever, they would breed so much more than in a planted tank with a light. I know it sounds weird, but it's how they roll for some reason. Like, I've got some tanks where the light's been off forever, and there's just a crazy amount of Endlers in there. And then for the egg scatters as well, I think it's a predation thing. So as they grow up, especially with like rainbows and daños and some of those where they'll grow up in different sizes and stages, and they'll start feeding off their brothers and sisters. I think the less light helps with that as well. The roots clogged my HOB filter. Yeah, I could imagine. I guess you'd have to think about that. Maybe rig up some kind of, well, I don't know. Those roots would probably get through about anything you would mesh up against the impeller. But maybe you could rig something up. Wild Bear Cat TV, what do you think is the rarest plant that you keep? Definitely my Ferrugenia crypt, which is the silver purple queen crypt. Might have a skeleton king in here too. I don't know if those are still rare. Some Bucephalangras. I'm sure I got a few rare Bucephalangras in here. Can you guys hear me all right? Maybe I'm too far away. Let me know how the audio sounds. Leslie Aquatics says, I have a question for anyone. I've got a blood parrot cichlid with a small white batch of tiny holes on his nose. I've had him for years and he still acts and eats the same and doesn't act sick. That's usually something like hole in the head or something. I don't know. I think the chat would be better at that than I would be. Thank you, Lucas. My finger go faster than my brain. Leslie Aquatics, could it be scarring from rubbing on something? That's possible. Could be scarring. I know a lot of people are probably going to try to say hole in the head or something from poor water quality, but that's hard to really tell too, especially without pictures and the setup. Usually when I'm diagnosing a situation like that, and if you're ever posting it on anything like a forum or Facebook group or anything where you're trying to ask for advice, always send a picture of your setup and the fish. Because not always just a picture of the fish can do, but being able to see their setup and their environment goes a long way to diagnosing situations like that. Long way. Something we often miss when we do post and ask questions like that on forums. Oh crap, huge rainbow fish behind me. Oh. Good looking out, Dinosaur 53. They are getting big though. They're some big boys. That's about as big as they get. I've had them for quite a minute. Ron Harryman, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Says Bromato. Oh no, he's switching it up on you. Chris. Says Bromato, what's up? What is the breaking point of non-filtered tank? At what point do you finally intervene? Says Ron Harryman. I think it definitely depends on the fish that you're keeping and the waste that the fish keeps. So I keep more smaller fish, more kind of community nano fish. Rainbow fish about as big as I go with the non-filter. Now you can keep bigger fish with non-filters, but you're going to have to do more water changes. And you're probably going to need more water volume as well. And it also depends on the ecosystem. So how much can your ecosystem absorb? Like this is really mature. It's got plants in it, but even more importantly, algae, which algae is Mother Nature's great equalizer. So if you do have impurities, that algae will help fix that over. And that's what happens with like those bigger fish. So say you were to do an Oscar in a no filter 40 or something, the Oscar would do all right. The only problem, as long as you're doing water changes and refreshing its water, but you're going to deal with a lot of algae because that Oscar is going to create a lot of waste and a lot of ammonia, which is going to create a lot of algae. Unless you have a plant that is able to absorb that stuff rapidly. So that plays another role as well. What type of plants do you have in there? So say you got an Oscar and a bunch of Anubias, that ain't going to do you any good. But if you got an Oscar with a bunch of pearlweed, that'll do you some good. It'll be able to absorb that. But at the same time, that plant's going to grow like crazy, so you better keep up on its maintenance. So it's really about the balance. So you're really kind of intervening as far as like creating that ecosystem to begin with. But say you do have that all figured out and it is kind of what it is, then I mean, it stabilizes itself mostly. That's why I'm able to keep this amount of tanks, is just the fact that Mother Nature does the work for me. I mean, she's been doing this for eons, and we like to dabble so much that we mess it up. Which, I mean, it's understandable to dabble because we want to learn about our environment and how this kind of stuff works, and you can't learn about that unless you dabble into it. Yeah, but as we go, and as I've gone through the years and years of keeping all these aquariums, I've just learned the more I let Mother Nature do the work, the much easier it is. And much more peaceful it is, too. It's a whole vibe, really. And Ryo Watanabe, I hope I said that right, but great to see you in here, bro. Says, hi Lucas, do you have any Melanitania parkinsonis at the moment? So I don't. Since that is more of a common fish here in America, I mean, I guess depending on where you are, the fish store sells them. So usually if the fish store sells that type of rainbow, I don't tend to keep it. I used to have them back in the day, though. Absolutely beautiful fish with the orange all over them. And you can actually breed those out for coloration. Um, I know in our hobby here, like probably 3 years ago, there wasn't very many good looking ones. That's when I was breeding them, and they went from like barely half body of orange color to almost full body orange color on some of them after line breeding them down the road. Absolutely beautiful fish, and great to see you in here, bro. And love your channel. Maple Street Aquatics says, are you going to have a swap table at the Killie Carnival? Oh, I didn't know they were having, well, I guess they are having swap tables for killifish. I guess I could have brought plants or something. I didn't really plan on it. Maybe I could. That way I could buy more killifish. That'd probably help with that. I was just planning on coming down to buy killifish for everybody. But that is a good idea, Maple Street Aquatics. Chris Pinto throwing another $3 super chat says, don't be stealing my thunder, yo. Oh no, it's on now. Ron versus Chris. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Scrolling. Once again, sorry if I missed your guys' questions. Obviously, I can't get to them all. Just finger scrolling my way through this. Roman Maharjan. I don't know. Did I do that right? Can Corys and Hillstream Loach breed together? That's a real good question. I haven't entirely got mine to breed, my Hillstream Loaches yet. But I think it's because I always got a fish in there with them. I think it would be much easier to breed them separate. Just because the Corys can probably eat the Hillstream Loaches' eggs. Because I have tried the Corys and the Hillstreams together, but I didn't get anything out of them. They got rainbows and danios in their tank now. And I'm not really sure how the Hillstreams actually throw their eggs. If they like batch them somewhere under rocks, or if they scatter them, or what. I'm not really sure. I need to look more into that. Farm Fish and Freedom, any rice fish breeding advice? Yes, I've got a video of John Stoller's fish room. So you can type in like LRB John Fish Room or something like that. Or John Stoller Fish Room. And he gets absolutely a crazy amount of rice fish eggs off of his. And his process is really nice. Where he just uses spawning tanks and gathers them that way. Now you can community breed them in a planted aquarium. That's kind of how I do it. But you got to have lots of plants, lots of coverage with on the top and bottom of the water to community breed them. But if you check out that fish room tour, as I mentioned, you can get a much more in-depth on it. And it's crazy, like the thumbnail on there is a female, and the amount of eggs that she had on her was just crazy. Crazy. And it's cool how they hold the eggs behind them, and then they'll just go over to some plant material or a spawning mop and just drop them all over it. Christopher McAlphin says, do you sell fish online? I do, lrbaquatics.com. And everything's all homegrown here, homemade. I don't bring anything in that's not from a club or somewhere else. Like, rarely do I bring anything in anymore. That way that everything's all clean, the genetics are good. You don't have to worry about dealing with diseases all the time. Chris Pinto, thank you so much for the huge $25 super chat. That's huge. Talking the talk, bro, Tato. Oh man, he is putting it down on you, Ron. Oh, don't rile Chris up here. But thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. That is awesome of you. Victoria Garden Aquatics says, I take inspiration for your videos to DIY my own amateur fish room channel. Thanks for the insight in NTS. Well, you are very welcome. It's my job to spread MTS to all you guys, just to bring you to my level. Y'all can have the multiple tank syndrome with me. That way I don't feel so lonely. The horde of MTSers. Big brotato. Individually Mighty says, LRB, I wanted some Neocaridina and guppies. I have a pH 8 GH 10 KH 7 TDS meter 170. I wanted to try avoiding remineralizing if possible, but I have a feeling I might have to. No, not entirely true. I've actually got Neocardinas breeding out in a tank right now that is like 60 TDS. So it can be done. It can be done. It's just when you're trying to do it with the guppies, that's when it becomes harder to do, because the guppies can predate, especially on babies, and that's why a rock pile is, I often always recommend for breeding anything together, is have a good decent rock pile, like nice area of just rocks all over. That way there's cracks and crevices to create nurseries for either the fish, shrimp babies, or whatever. What do you see that in the team behind you? What do you see that in the team behind you? I'm not sure what that means. Might have had a typo there. I cannot decipher. Gary Howe says, my black rams have spawned on my sponge filter. Should I leave it alone? Ooh, I would. Just see what kind of parents they are. I mean, if they're going to do it once, they're more than likely going to do it again. And if you got some good parents and they'll make it easy on you, it's best to test that, in my opinion, than automatically pulling them right away. Because sometimes if you pull them away from them, I learned that they can just get stubborn and they just won't do it again. They're like, well, if he's just going to pull our stuff away, they're not going to bother. So I've learned best to let Mother Nature go its course on that, and leave it in. Victor H, best substrate for plants, gravel or sand, not include active soil. Sand, hands down. Sand, without a doubt. The symbiotic relationship plants and plant roots and sand have is phenomenal. Especially if you go into the wild, most of that stuff is grown in sand. Now, some will be a little bit rocky with pebbles and stuff, but in between the pebbles and stuff is usually always sand. That's when you'll start getting all those little fine roots from the microbial beneficial funguses and stuff. Thanks for posting, Lady LRB, throwing down the website. Playing Candy's role. I hope Candy's doing alright. Eric Ash says, is there anything I should know about whisker shrimp? Whisker shrimp. What exactly are whisker shrimp? Like ghost shrimp? Am I missing something? I feel like I've heard of them before, but I think they were ghost shrimp. Another name for ghost shrimp. I'm not really sure. Clay Prentice says, I got staghorn algae, I think due to low flow. After increasing the flow, will staghorn die or just stop it from regrowing? It does like flow for sure. It may just start dying actually. And if you wanted to really kill it, you could hit it with just a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, kill it real fast, and it'll change all kinds of crazy colors. That's how you know it's dying. If it's growing, it's obvious living. but if you see it changing color, that's how you know you're on the right track. All right, Marie T, thank you so much for being the 100th like. Woohoo! It's awesome. And I appreciate those likes too. I know the algorithm likes them too. Helps out the channel big time. And I am really planning on getting this going again. Some of you guys may notice I've been dropping out the videos. And I've got a lot of them I would like to drop out. And I get the motivation going back on this. And I kind of got to play catch up too with the algorithm as it is. So when you guys do hit that like button now, it does help create that momentum a lot faster. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, all that did that. Chris Trapp says, Lucas, what's the longest you've gone? No water change, only top-offs. A year. At least on some. A year. I mean, heck, this one, I don't think I've changed the water once on this tank. I don't even remember when I set this up. This is absolutely no filter, no nothing. I think there's still shrimp in there. I haven't changed the water in there once. There might be some Endlers in there. That's one of them. Oh, I got this other one down here, but the light's not on. I don't know why the light's not on that either. That's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe went out. I've had quite a few lights going out on me here. Now, I do have a lot of these backup shop lights, but they're not always the best. I mean, they do alright, but it's really hard to find them in that 6500K. A nice blue. Would be ideal if you could get lighting where you've got your red spectrum and your blue spectrum. That's when you can get your plants looking the best. Because you get the vegetative state and the fruiting state out of them. Oh, Saturday's an all-species swap, says Maple Street Aquatics for the Killie Carnival. Oh, that's good to know. And then Sunday is the Killie and plant auction. So, that's true. I guess they do have plants there. You know what? That reminds me. I think I remember Guppy Grass was going for crazy last time. Maybe I will bring some plants. For sure. Thank you, Maple Street Aquatics, for bringing that to my attention. And it'll be great to see you at the Killie Carnival. And anybody else who plans on coming to the Killie Carnival in South Bend, Indiana. Which I believe you can find that as long as you Google Killie Carnival. I'm sure you can find info for it. Pretty sure we all know how to use Google by now, I hope. If you're on YouTube, I'm guessing you do. Stella's Cuteness says, can't find mineral content up. Or can't keep mineral content up. Nitrification, plants, etc. consuming all minerals, add crushed coral, equilibrium. That means your water's got a lot of acidity to it. Best thing to do would probably be do less water changes. I don't know if you're using straight RO or what, but I like to use this Nilo CG GH booster. I'm trying to see if I got some over here. I think this is, oh yeah, here it is. This is what I will use for RO water, which I mean RO's pretty much, I think it comes out at like 5 or 7 for me. But this stuff, GH booster, this will go a long way for you as getting your mineral content up. And I know if you got like crushed coral and stuff like that, it will dissolve over time, so it's not like instantly into the water. So same with that, but it's a lot smaller particular matter. So as the acidity breaks it breaks it up so much easier than it would a crushed coral or something. Evan mentioned wonder shells. Yes, lots of people. Whoa! Oh no, I broke you guys. Oh, there we are. We're back. But wonder shell, yes, lots of people have spoke highly on wonder shells. I've never actually used them myself, but many have spoke highly on wonder shells. I feel like I can get a better shot if I get way over here. There we go. Get some tanks in there. Oink, oink. Oh, that's better. Let's see. Anyone know any good places to sell rainbow fish in Pennsylvania? They are bred from awesome LRB stock. Oh, that's awesome. Plumline Aquatics. That is really cool. Eric Bodrock's over there somewhere too. He's got great rainbow fish. But check your local fish store. See what they say if they don't have a good enough price for you. Because sometimes you get it for like a third there. And if not, if they don't buy them, sometimes their wholesalers will buy them. But best thing you can do is maybe put something on Aquabid, get yourself going. I think there's some other, I think Get Gills is another one. I don't know if, I think they do multiple people's, kind of like an Aquabid situation. Some people use, or well, just message Plumline Aquatics if you guys are looking for rainbow fish. There you go. How about that? Give you a little commercial. Nurse Beckus, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Always great to see you, Nurse Beckus. Hope you're doing well. Says thank you. Well, thank you, Nurse Beckus. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Xanadu with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Xanadu. Says LRB Aquatics, my LRB guppy grass is out of control. Awesome, awesome, awesome fry cover. Grows like crazy. Thanks as always. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, 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 really appreciate it, Xanadu. And thanks for that shout out and the super chat. And letting everybody know how awesome my guppy grass is, because it does grow out of control, and that's why I sell it for super cheap. So if you guys are looking for guppy grass, might as well plug it now, because I've got a ton of it. If you want it, get it while the price is low. Because usually it's $5, but I've got a ton of it right now. So that's what I usually do. If I have something that just like piles up, then it's even lower than the everyday savings. T-Shot says, can any problems arise from having floating plants cover the entire top of the tank? I have a HOB and the sponge filter going. Anything to watch out for? Thanks, bud. So what will happen sometimes is if it overgrows the whole tank and it can't really grow up, out, or really anywhere, it's going to have a problem with itself because it finds its space and its containment, and then it'll just start dying off in certain areas because it doesn't have that like progressional growth or something. It's kind of weird. That's the only thing that I really noticed. That and just leaving feeding space for your fish sometimes. And often too, if it does start overgrowing, then and it doesn't have anywhere else to go besides trying to grow back into itself as well, then you'll start getting algae issues, because the algae gets in between the spots that it grows into, and as it's kind of killing itself off, the algae's eating off of that. But as long as you keep it trimmed up and keep giving it some space, it should stay nice and healthy. We do have a P.O. box, Carla. And somebody sent him a book. Didn't say where it came from, but somebody sent him a book the other day. It was a Dr. Seuss book, which I thought was great. We got lots of Dr. Seuss books. Are you still allowed to talk about that? Oh, I ain't even gonna start. Let's see. Frankie Finn says, how long does it take for male endlers to show their full genetic color? Sometimes it really depends on the line. Some of them can take longer than others. Like at my Stayix and my blue, like Kambamba or whatever they are, the NR32s. They take forever to color up. But some, I mean, like almost color up right away. So it really depends on the line. I just got to the part where I dropped the phone. Wow, I am way back. Way back. Scared the dog. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Andy and Andy's dog. Too bad I can't shout out your dog's name and get him barking. Like, hey boy, here boy. Pet Supply Plus, you can order any fish you want, says JP. Yeah, and a lot of times too, if you do go to local fish stores, if they don't have some fish, sometimes they can have them on their list. Not always. Some fish are just seasonal, no matter what. Doesn't matter where you are. NMH5075 says, I purchased some White Cross Endlers back and was curious about the lineage. Beautiful fish. Did you create them? So no, I didn't create them. I actually got them from the same club that's doing a killifish carnival. This, not this weekend, but the weekend after. So I did not create them. They are beautiful fish, and I was surprised how popular they have been with everybody. Like, everybody has loved those White Cross Endlers. They've actually been one of my best sellers, which I have out of stock now just because everybody bought them all. But I did not create them. Got them from a guy named Eric Scarborough, the Michigan Aquarium Society. Take it easy, Chris Pinto. Have a good one. Mickey M says, check on new upcoming regulation regarding killies from Brazil. Got a Gov Mail link from a friend informing about a new U.S.-Brazil proposal of law. Last time to invest LRV. What the heck would they do that? Like, what's the point? Makes no sense. Why they always Okay, good to know, though. Thank you so much for the information. Good to know. I don't know why they would do that, because it's not like Brazilian killifish would be invasive or it'd really cause a problem with anything. Or maybe it's just due to overfishing. Possibly. Maybe they're trying to keep the numbers. I don't know what the numbers are. But yeah, all the more reason to. That's why I always make sure to hit up the Killie Carnival. If I do anything all year, Killie Carnival. That's what I will do, just to get those killifish out, because it's a labor of love to breed killifish, and we just need more people to conserve of them, keep them going. And they're some of the most amazing, beautiful fish. Be a shame to lose some of them. And many of them are endangered. And once again, sorry if I'm missing your guys' questions. I cannot keep up with them all. Christopher Smith says, how long does a 32-gallon container sit out to be chlorine-free? They say 24 hours. I've always been too sketched to do that. I know, coming from a no-filtered kind of guy, I've always been too kind of sketched to do that. And I guess I don't really have a system to be able to do that, because who's got 24 hours? You'll have to have a separate container just to do that. And to me, it's almost worth the dechlor just to do it right away. Matt Riddle says, what tank is your best Pennywort tank? Can we see it? Well, I guess that depends on how you look at it. We could probably go and take a little venture. I feel like getting up anyways. My back, I've been sitting at my desk a lot today, so I could go for a little stroll. Let's hit up the garage here, right in front of my face. That's how I say, hey, look, this is what you got to do today, amongst everything else. So let me get this thing turned off. Boom, and I'll get to these super chats and questions here, but here's the Brazilian Pennywort. This is a nice tank where it's growing out. Just barely above the water and in the water. So this is what I like to grab for y'all. When I feed, at least. Speaking of killifish, here's an amphicemian. Even though the glare is terrible from these lights. Another reason why I don't like these shop lights is just the glare is so tough. And then if you want to look at like Brazilian Pennywort tanks, then there's this. And I used to have some down there, but I ripped that all out last night. I can't show that too much though, because that's my project. Finn Wiggles, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It says, 8 of the 10 pumpkin shrimp you sent me a few months ago are all buried up now, nestled into the nursery. Well, that's awesome to hear, Finn Wiggles. Sounds like you are going to have a tank full of shrimp here soon. Congrats on all the buried mamas. And those oranges tend to go female heavy. Tease Fish Tanks, and thank you for the super chat. Tease Fish Tanks, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, sorry can't stay long, but wanted to say hello. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, Tease Fish Tanks. Sorry couldn't stay, but thank you for the awesome support and just saying hello. Like, that's much appreciated. Much appreciated. Oh, this is the tank that I was talking about that's like 60 TDS. I have Blue Dreams in it. Here, we'll get a meter just to show you guys. I think one of these does not work. Joel G, thank you so much for the super chat. Turn down $2 super chat. Says, cool. Always great to see you, Joel. Joel's been around forever. Such a great guy. Oh, wait, we're at 170 now in here. Oh, that's higher than I thought. I thought one of these was sitting at 60. Could have been wrong. I did top them off not long ago, so there might have been some mineralization within the tank. That one's 140. Maybe it's this 5-gallon. No, that thing's reading 400 now. What the heck? There's gotta be something on it. There it goes. Well, that can't be right. Maybe I did add calcium. I think I might have topped it off with some hard water, maybe. But it was really low. I remember it was super low. Because I think the Brazilian Pennywort was pulling out a lot of the mineralization. Oh, there goes one of the Plecos. I'm surprised we saw him come out. Hey, guy. Cool. There's the funk Mr. Pleco. There he is. Okay, now I lost my lid. Oh, well. I'll have to put that back later. Mr. Pleco. Just sitting out will not remove chloramine. Good to know, Carla. So, if you are just trying to degas chlorine, you should probably make sure you don't have chloramine. Hey, fishy. Another killifish. Oh, where'd he go? They're fast. Oh, he just turned sideways right into the glare. So Lamontii epilotes. Lamontii, he's been in there forever. And he holds his own with these big old bad boys. And these guys are always like battling each other. I love this tank. But they've been eating all this guppy grass like crazy. I feed this guppy grass to these guys like you would hay to a cow. Alright, over those hill streams, right? Oh, hill trails. They're pretty cool. Tom Chiplick, thank you so much for the huge $30 super chat. That is awesome. Wow. Says, have a good week working in Chinese. I don't know if I want to say that. AKA Canada. We aren't doing well up here. Thought I would send some of my hard-earned money before the state takes it all. Haha, love the channel. I'd never miss it. Oh my God, you're hilarious, Tom. That is funny. And yes, I've been following what's going on up there, and I'm sorry for you guys. Like, Canada, you guys good or what? Well, unfortunately, it's starting to happen here, too. So, I mean, it's interesting times we live in right now. And you know what? The whole term apocalypse pretty much means like the unveiling. And that's kind of like what's happening now. A lot of this stuff that's been going on in the backgrounds, through certain clubs and affiliations who think they own everything. I mean, right now we're just living in a time of slavery with extra steps, and I could get into extortion and all kinds of other stuff and how all this other stuff is ran and the smoke and mirrors, and I see the people just running out of here right now. But yeah, this world's kind of a whole facade, and it's really interesting time that we live in, and it should be interesting to see the direction that it goes. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But thank you so much for the huge super chat. And I hope it gets better up there. Surprise Trudeau's still got a spot. But yeah, good luck to you guys. We got your back though. Just remember that. Because they always say that we, the people, or we are doing this, or we are doing that. When half the time it is they are doing it. And it's a big club and we ain't in it. It's not really justice. It's just us for many of them. Boom. Alright, but that's my rant. You actually pulled that out of me. Usually it's really kind of hard to pull that stuff out of me on a live stream. But I could go in on that forever. I've been watching a lot of their agendas for over a decade. T-Shot, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. It says speaking the truth. Yes, but a lot of reasons why I never talk about that kind of stuff on here is just because, I mean, this is a fish channel. People are here, they want to get away from that kind of stuff. They would rather think about the fish and everything else, and that's what we're here to help with, is the fish. But I could probably almost start a whole channel about all that stuff. LRB 2024, you could never pay me. If I had the crown, I'd bust it up. Anyone have a freshwater puffer fish? I don't. I've had some. I've only had the little pea puffers myself. I had the Scootin' Fruities for a little while. The Shedentite, I can't ever pronounce it right. But I gave those to Haley of Oddball Aquatics, and she ended up breeding them. She was feeding them bloodworms all the time, sometimes blackworms and shrimp. And they would breed for her. They would like bite the female's belly, which is kind of crazy, to get them in the breed mode. And then they get into like this like real gnarly, violent, like whipping and lashing all over the tank, just throwing eggs everywhere. It's kind of crazy to watch. I think Fahakas do the same thing too. Let's see. Science Gals Fishing says, I noticed one of my shrimp have a few tiny white strings between the eyes. Does this sound like some kind of worm? Do you recommend putting them in a salt dip? So I think the salt dip might actually work for this problem. What it is Vorticella, sounds like you have. I like to use the dog dewormer, the Paint Cure Seed dog dewormer, same way as you would treat planaria. So you do the 0.1 grams per 10 gallons, and then you would wait 72 hours, and then you would do 25% water change, and then repeat, and that'll kill them. Usually it takes 2 or 3 times. Better than television, says, well, you got one sub if you ever did. Yeah, that's funny. It is funny when I kind of talk about that stuff. There's an exchange there for sure. And there's many more waking up to all this stuff too. And it isn't until we have the awareness and then we all wake up to this kind of stuff, then we can break away from it. Many of us are under a spell from the broadcasts coming from Hollywood. If you know anything about Hollywood and witchcraft, then it speaks volumes on the design and orchestration of the system that has been created. They like to call it a simulation or matrix, which it isn't that. Like they say, oh, we live in a simulation. Like anything is a simulation in a form, but to design it and play it the way that they have, it's rigged. It's deep. It's a deep rabbit hole. I'm gonna try not to talk about it too much, but duckweed, OMG, any tips on how to eliminate? So what I like to do is try to drown it. So you can drown it. If you got hard water, get a spray bottle and spray your hard water right on top of it. Or even if you got some GH booster, throw that in with your water. That calcium will get on top of it, it'll kill it. Or you could just take it out manually, get all the clumps out you can, and then what I like to do is just blow the water to where it all corners up into one spot, and then you can end up grabbing it out pretty easily manually that way. That's why my fish room has no duckweed whatsoever. Not a fan. Honestly, I really don't care for floating plants that much. The fish absolutely love floating plants. Myself, on keeping and maintaining hundreds of aquariums where I've got to put my arm in, and then I got all these floating plants that stick to me. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But for the fish, I do it. And they prefer it. They need it. But Stella Cuteness, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Super appreciate that, Stella. Stella. Thank you. And the Varium Mitchum, or did I say that right? The Varium, I think I said it. I feel like I said it before and I got it right, but now I can't read it right. It's kind of crazy how you wrote it, but anyways, cool name. And thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I super appreciate it. Thank you. Says bravo. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys support me even with my tinfoil hat. I hate when people say that though, because a lot of these conspiracies aren't even theories anymore. They're conspiracies at this point. It's just nobody holds anybody accountable where they need to be, and it's not being investigated properly. And that's why the major medias, which I'm reading here, will not tell you what's really going on and the major events around the world. If you really do look into like world news and global news, what they feed us here, oh my God, it is something else. And I've seen, I told my neighbors about this for like the last 10 years, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, I mean, I was hoping I was wrong. I would love to be wrong about this kind of stuff. But I mean, you just can't deny truth. But they often say a lie can travel around the world before the truth catches up. But you know what? The truth always does eventually catch up. Hopefully. Science Gal Fishing says, yes, hair combs work for duckweed. That's interesting. That's a pretty good idea. It looked like there was a petricola catfish in your thumbnail. Any tips to get them to stop hiding 24/7? Yeah, they actually, in a herd, and I'm going to feed them because it's almost this time, and I really love watching their tanks. Let's just sit in front of it, watch them a little bit, and I think that'll be nice. Man, she is prego. Look at her chunky little belly. You ready to have some eggs? Her little darling. Oh, let me grab my crate. I love these milk crates for just like little seats around the fish room and stuff, or a little something to jump on. Absolutely love these milk crates. Alright, so, well, that's not gonna sit well. You see how they're coming out? They're just skittish when I move around. But if they're in a herd, if there's a lot of them, oh man, they really don't care. Actually, when there was no guppy grass in here, which I really need to redo this whole tank. See, they know they're getting fed right now. But I need to redo this whole tank. But when Wesley, he used to come down here all the time, and there was no guppy grass, they'd always come up and nibble on his fingers and stuff. He kind of quit doing that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw some guppy grass in here. And then, they kind of stay low. I need to get them breeding again. I got a ton of babies up here in a 10-gallon too. They grow out slow though, but they do lay a lot of eggs. I don't know if you guys seen, but you can like line them into different morphs. They have these ones that like are almost all white. It's really crazy, really cool looking. And once again, sorry I missed your guys, any of your guys' questions. Wasn't Chipper Jones a pro baseball player? He was. I got his rookie card. Do I have any turtles? I don't have any turtles. I kept a lot of turtles growing up though. I kept up pretty much every turtle growing up. My favorite are the pancake turtles. Wild Bear Cat TV says just got some red eye leer tails, sword tails. Any recommendation on tank size setup and breeding? They're in 55-gallon plated community tank. Right now, the biggest female is almost 5 inches with her tail. Nice. Yeah, definitely bigger tank the better. At least a 40-gallon or 20-gallon or a 30-gallon. And just give them plants and coverage top and bottom, and they will community breed like crazy. Got a bunch of swordtails I've been breeding out, and the best thing is to not disturb them too much. So let them kind of community breed out their babies here and there, but kind of wait till they start getting older before you pull them too much, or they will slow down breeding on you and give you a rest period to actually throw them babies. That's sometimes too. Poor James Shepard. Oh my, I'm not even gonna say what you wrote. That's funny. Good luck to you, bro. Scrolling. What age do Lucipennus usually start breeding? They can breed at a fairly young age. If you look there, that one's, I mean, I don't know if it's just small, but its belly looked like it was big enough to breed. It's crazy. So yeah, this has kind of been a community in here now. I need to get the adults and kind of separate through. That way I don't end up inbreeding way down the line or something. But you can see how some are darker and lighter than others. And that big old bristlenose pleco in there that messes everything up. To be honest, I'm not a real huge fan of bristlenose plecos. They are cool looking fish. Or no, is this even a bristlenose? Yeah, I think it is. Just doesn't have any bristles. Oh, here's another one. They just poop a lot. Make a mess. Can I see your swordtails, Patrick Hardy? Yeah, we can go look at the swordtails. Oh, 63 minutes. What are the red and yellow fish? Those are red tiger endlers. But see, the female's kind of goofy. They're kind of inbreded. I got another tank of them. It's not as crazy as these guys are. I was hoping they would explode in here with the Lucipennus, but they, I mean, I've had them in here forever. You would think all this guppy grass, all this space, and these guys would explode. But no, I don't think they do. And the reason why is because when the females have their babies, the babies like to go to the bottom. And then what's at the bottom but a big old horde of sharks down there. And you know those things are probably munching them up. But I don't know, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. Let's feed these guys a little bit too. And then we'll go see the swordtails and then we'll hop off here. Here's a couple of swordtails. This monster tank of mine with my monster rainbows. Hum yum 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 yum. Let's see, put you in this light or this light? Let's put you guys in this light. You look best in this light, even though that reflection is horrible. Oh my. Don't splash me. Yum, yum, yum. Can goldfish and koi fish be afraid of a huge common pleco fish at one sided pleco at the other corner of the tank? Possibly. Maybe the pleco's trying to attach themselves to it. I don't know. It's interesting though. Never kept that combo. But I know sometimes plecos can be The big common plecos can be a big pain. Oh wow, she's about ready. She's gonna pop soon. Yeah, we get babies out of the cories here soon. Little water change. The fish boy. There you go. I gave you a shout out, buddy. Saw that you were sad nobody will sub to you. That's sad. But that happens. I mean, it's a grind. YouTube is a grind. Trying to get subs, you got to teach yourself a lot. You just got to stick with it. And if I got any advice, like they say, and the thing that kept me motivated a lot was kind of two things. Was the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And, I mean, I built it. And you guys came. Many of you guys came. And I appreciate you all for coming. And then the second is if you do anything for 10,000 hours. I got to get my light switch fixed. It kind of broke. So, got it taped up so nobody flips it. But if you do anything for 10,000 hours, I mean, you're going to be able to be good at it at some point. And you're going to be able to do all kinds of cool things. You'll get some gold out of doing anything for 10,000 hours. So just keep at it, keep grinding, keep doing your thing. You'll get there. And yeah, these are my swordtails. Look at all the different sizes. This is mostly covered with Taiwan lily, and there's some pearlweed in there. But they're constantly dropping babies in here. Tons of snail, so you can tell I feed it pretty heavy. I recently hacked all that. Hey guys. Alright, I've got to hop off here and feed all the rest of these fish. Speaking of having plants overgrown on tanks, oh my gosh. And look how big these rainbows are. They're wild though. These guys are absolutely wild in here. And they'll, they'll breed in here too. I get babies come up in here all the time. Surprised I don't see any right now. I don't know what this plant is. I can't remember. I think it was like Acornius something like that. Gotta figure that out, but mostly pearlweed. But yeah, that thing is covered. And this is what happens if it starts losing room. Then you'll start getting algae in between it. Right there, a good example. It starts growing in there. Then that just becomes problematic. Yep. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me and joining us on this Friday Night Live Q&A. Hopefully I helped some of y'all. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Until next time, everybody, peace. Have a great one. Do-do-do, oh, earthquake. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. Oh, and Nurse Beckus, thank you so much for the $10 super chat again. Sorry, I almost missed that one, Nurse Beckus. Thank you. Again, for the love, showing the love. You're the best. Peace.